In the beginning, I felt off balance. It was a very kind of unsettling feeling. Felt very isolated. You know, you walk into the room and it's just you there, and it's just so foreign from our world that it's really a space where you are forced to deal with whatever is in you in that moment.
I'm honestly speechless. I kind of felt the answers kind of pulsating within me, even if I wasn't able to get it out instantly as it was happening. As the lights are kind of flickering off, I felt more comfortable answering in the dark.
Initially when I walked in, you know, you push the button, it's dark, and you gotta, you know, like you said, it's an agitated type of situation where it's like you don't know what to expect, you know what's going on. Mirror and everything, the experience was, it's got that kind of futuristic feel to it, and the modulation on the voice that's speaking to you has that very computerized kind of feel to it.
I didn't really know what to think initially. I think it was more kind of like out of this world, something that I wouldn't feel like here.
The body, the sound, the low tones, they almost vibrate through you to force you to feel something.
It makes you uncomfortable.
It was unsettling in a good way. I think as asking questions about like, do you feel human and how do you want to change the world, I think we have, at least I have this like assumption that the ground is always going to be there, and that's just like, you know what I'm saying, it's just going to be static, and like I'm going to put my foot out and it's going to be there. So to have this vibration that's like shaking the foundation of like where I'm standing really made me question what I believe to be real and static and true and like forever there, and what's not. That we can intentionally like disrupt the grounds, and that feels powerful too.
There was some physical manifestation from the light, because when you have the bright light and then you go back to complete darkness, your eyes like they flip-flop between being adjusted and unadjusted, and there's like kind of like ghosting images and whatnot that kind of stay and stick around.
When you look into the mirror with the lights, you're like, that's me, and then in the dark it just kind of gives you a small time to self-reflect on it. What do you see? How do you feel?
Am I happy with the world I live in? Not really. There are a lot of things I would love to see change, but the truth that I came to in that moment is that the only way I could see change is to go out there and change it, just to be proactive. Hearing someone else say the things I normally say to myself was almost giving me a responsibility to find real answers. You know, when you're talking to yourself, a lot of times you don't really have to say the truth, you know, but when you're alone in a room and it's like you hear an outside voice, it's almost like God-like. You know, you feel obligated to be open and honest with it, and then to actually hear that truth as you're speaking out loud to yourself as well. It's kind of, it moves something within you.
There was a barrier that was not allowing me to fully answer, and I don't know if that was either lack of honesty with myself or discomfort, even though I was the only one in the room and no one else could hear my answer. When I was asked to speak louder, I whispered, which I thought was interesting too, and I didn't know why. So it definitely challenged me to do some inventory of myself that I hadn't considered before.
It was really impactful the way that it mirrored some of the questions around like the darkness and the light of like looking in the places in myself and in the world that I don't always want to look at, but mainly myself, because I think in my personal experience, I'm really good at like thinking about the world and what the world needs and how to make the world better and all that, but then like to bring that back to myself like feels really difficult. Yeah, so I think that light was challenging me to like actually turn inward more than the darkness did. I responded out loud to almost all of them except the ones that they said like to respond in silence. There was like this moment where it was like, well, what are you gonna do to love yourself more? And then going to like, what are you gonna do to love the world or like change the world? And my answers were the same. And I was like, I see what you did there. Okay, all right, you know. And I think ultimately just circled back around to like loving myself more and like taking better care of myself so that I can do more other things that I am doing. Yeah. The box looks formidable. Like, it just looks like there's more room inside. And once I actually got inside, I was like, oh, this is actually a lot smaller. And I felt myself like physically stay closer to the door. Because I was like, I mean, I know like nothing, like I trusted that nothing was going to happen to me. Like, you know, but still I was like, I don't know, hesitant. It just felt like tighter. It felt like womb-like. It felt like, you know, and there was something that was both like comforting and also like disconcerting about that at the same time.
Being able to show more love to the world means having a little less self-control. You know, I'm a very controlled person, so for me, that would require a little bit more effort in not having control. You know, being able to receive what people are giving me, but also having the space and vulnerability to give back.